Hey guys, welcome back. So far we have created only two tests for create booking and we have created one test for update booking, and in all these tests we have a bit of a code duplication. So for example, if we go to booking test class, we will see that in each of the tests we have been creating new booking, and that's like a bit of a code duplication. And the second problem that we have seen is we have only been creating bookings, but we have not been deleting those bookings after the tests are done. Now in this particular case, it is not that big a problem because if you go to home page of RESTful Booker application, it says the API comes preloaded with 10 records to work with and resets itself every 10 minutes back to the default state. But in a real life project, what will happen is, the data refresh normally does not happen that frequently. It happens a couple of months or sometimes even in 6 months, and then you don't want to like keep pumping data into your test environments. Now it might not be a big of a problem for your automated test, but for the people who are trying to do any sort of manual testing, all this data, will make it difficult for them to find out valid data for their own testing. So what we're going to do in this particular video is we're going to add more tests for the other endpoints that are remaining, and we will also clean up our test data after the tests are done. I think in terms of approach, what we can do is create booking is something that if we do, we can then use that booking ID to update the booking, to partially update the booking, and to delete the booking, and also to get the booking based on that particular ID. The only thing that you want to remember is do not do that with the same ID, because if you do that, your test will not run well in parallel. And maybe I'll show you with an example, right? So let's go back. First, let's try to add more endpoints for get, partial update, and delete booking. So let's go back. If I go to booking API, we have new booking, update booking, patch booking, and we actually have for delete booking. The only thing that we don't have yet is for get booking, right? So let me see how get booking looks like. Let's split right. Let's go to get booking. Okay, so this is very simple. We just have to pass a booking ID and it accepts application JSON. So if I go to booking API, maybe after new booking, I can make a copy of this and I can say get booking, and it could be done based on a booking ID. So let me say string booking ID, and there is no body to provide. In specification, we already are providing accept application JSON, so that's not a problem. This is a get call on booking endpoint. In fact, not on booking endpoint, on booking ID endpoint. And I think that's it. So we have booking ID endpoint, and based on the booking ID endpoint, it should be able to give us a booking. And yeah, booking ID, comma. So this gives us booking ID. And in test, what you want to do is, first of all, let's just write some comments here. Create a booking. This is in setup, right? So in setup, we want to create a booking. Then we want to, in teardown, we want to delete the booking. And then, of course, each of the tests can work on the created bookings, right? So let's do one thing. First of all, let's do a call where I'm saying before each. So before each of the tests, I want to create a booking, and I want to say void setup, and in void setup, what I want to do is I want to create a booking, right? Setup and create a booking. Let's see if I keep it public void. That's no problem. Okay. So this will basically set up, create a booking, and what we also need to do is we need to set the booking ID, right? So let's set the booking ID, and in fact for the test we will create a field which will be private string, and this field would be where is it, booking ID, right? Control C, booking ID, and we will set this field inside this method. So once we create a booking, I think we should first assert the response actually. Only if the response is proper, then we should set the booking. So we should say set booking ID. And what this will do is, before each test is run, it will create a new booking and it will set a new booking ID for each of the tests to work with. And then what we can also do is, after each test is done, we can do the same thing, public void tear down. And in this, what we want to do is, we want to make a delete call, right? And let's look at the delete API. Delete booking, and we just need to pass a booking ID, right? So we'll say booking API, delete booking, use booking ID, and of course we want to assert that the response code is proper, right? So we have to capture the response code. So this, now ideally it should be 200, but we know that in our particular application case, there's a bug in the application and it creates a 201, right? So this is actually a bug, but it demonstrates the purpose. I would write a comment, it should ideally be 200, but this application has a bug and it gives 201, so that it does not confuse our readers, right? So so with this, I think if we try to run a test now, so let's say if I try to get a booking now, so I could say assert that user can fetch an existing booking. So now this is a test for get booking, so I will remove this, and the only thing that I need to do is I need to say get booking, and I need to pass booking ID, and with this we will we'll fetch the booking ID, first name, it could be, we can even say for example assert equals, and we can say for example Jim, response get body, JSON path, get string, and let's also assert if the body is proper or not. And by the way, this is not how we will write our asserts. If you remember, I have already mentioned that assertion is a part that we're going to cover in the future videos. So for now, we're writing just very basic assertions here. First name, and in fact, instead of this, I should just give first name, and let's see if it works fine or not. Okay, so the test ran fine. As we can see, first it created a booking, it made a post call, then it did a get booking, and once it got the booking, the response is 200 okay. Here's the response, and once everything was done, then it deleted the booking in the end, right? And as you can see, the response code is 201, should be 200. This was for token because the other post call was for token. So everything seems to be working fine. So if I go back to this application, now we have tested create booking, we have tested get booking, and we also have tested delete booking. Let's go ahead and write some tests for update booking and partial update booking as well. So now if I want to write tests for partial update, all I can do is make a copy of the same test, and I can say assert that user can update an existing booking, and instead of get booking, I could actually say I can do the same thing as arrange act assert thing. In fact, let me copy the code that we had used in one of the tests. Update booking. So let's come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also make this booking body as a field because we have use cases of also updating it, right? So Control D, booking body, and let's change this here. And now booking body is also a field. Not only I can change the ID, I can also change the booking body now, right? So what I'm going to do is booking body. So now I'm changing the booking body to a different name, and now I'm saying update booking, provide the body and the booking ID. And once we do that, then we want to assert that the response is correct, and we also want to assert that the first name is now not Jim, but it is what we have changed, right? So let's run this, and everything seems to be green. If we say first it makes a post call, it creates a new booking ID 282. Then it makes a post call to get the authentication token, right? Then we get the authentication token. Then we try to update this booking with a new name, and it also goes to ended OK. We get the name changed, and in the end, before we make a delete call, again it makes a post call to get the authentication token, and then it makes a delete call, and then the delete was successful, right? So this update test is now also fine. So what I can do is I can actually get rid of the other test that we had, and let's start everything from afresh. So if I come here, we now have done tests for get booking, create booking, update booking, delete booking. Only test remaining is partial update booking. So let's make a copy of this test. Control V, assert that user can partially update an existing booking. And this time I can give my name, for example, and if I say okay, so I do not yet have method for partial update booking, right? So let's go back. We actually have for patch booking, so let me call it as partial update booking, right? Partially update booking. So if I go back to test, let's call it as partially update booking. Let's just check the method once. It accepts the body, it accepts the booking ID, it's a patch call, yeah, everything looks okay. And instead of passing the booking body, what we will do is we will create a new JSON object which will only update, which will only send one particular field. So let's see how it goes. So let's create a new booking body. So we'll create a booking body. Booking body 1 is equals to let's say booking dot, where is the builder? Yeah, so here is the builder. So let's say booking body dot builder, and we are going to set only the first name. And let's say if I put first name as my name, and then I will say set last name, and then in the end I will just call it build. So we can call it as a partial booking body, right? So it's not like the full booking body. And let's also print it just to be sure. Log info, and what you want to print is partial booking body, partial booking body, right? So what we're going to do now is, instead of trying to update the booking body like we did here and pass the whole body, we are only going to pass this partial booking body, which only contains first name and last name. Now with batch booking, we expect that it will only change the first name and last name, and it will not change anything else. If you do the same thing with a put booking, it will actually replace the content of the booking. So if I go here, uh, the first name, so we are fetching the first name and the last name. Let's fetch the last name as well. Last name, and let's do Control D, and in this case it would be my name. Control C. Right, so this looks okay. And if I do a Control Alt L, Control Alt L, yeah, formatted, and let's run this test. Okay, the tests are running, and if we go this time from so okay, if we go down, the first name was Jim Brown, then it created auth token. Now we try to do a patch, and it changed the name, first name, last name. We did not change anything else, right? And the response was Pramod Yadav, uh, total price, deposit paid. So this was a bug. I think this is again a bug in the application, that I only tried to change, these two fields, but it added other two fields by itself, right? So that's a bit of a bug. But it did change these two fields, and it did not like override the whole thing. We still have the booking dates as you provided. We still have the additional needs did not have been overwritten, right? What else? So yeah, at the end the booking was deleted. By the way, if you would have tried to do the same thing with, let me show you, with update booking, that would not have worked. So let's say if you, instead of giving booking body, if you would have given partial booking body, it would fail because the body would be incomplete. So if I do a run now, this would fail. Yeah, and as you see, this time it failed. It created a booking, which is no problem. It made a post call to get the auth token. It could get the token, but when it tried to update this booking with only two fields, it said that it was a bad request, right? So that is exactly what we wanted. The good thing is, even though the test failed, in the end, we were still able to clean up the booking that we had created before. So 699 booking was actually created above. If we go up, and then this is something that we were able to delete in the end, right? Okay, so that's it for this video, and maybe in the next video we'll pick up another interesting topic to cover. So thank you, see you, cheers, bye.